For many, being an organ donor is a higher calling, selflessly giving the gift of life to another person in need, whether they know them or not. Joining us is Aaron Cannon, a Good Samaritan kidney donor, and Lillian Jarvinen, a Good Samaritan kidney donor and MUSC program facilitator. Ladies, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Lillian, I want to ask you, so what is National Donor Sabbath?
Yes, so it's actually an opportunity from leaders of all faiths to get together and just educate the public about the need for transplant, and also to encourage people to register as donors.
And this happens every year, 2 weekends before Thanksgiving. So it's going to start tomorrow, and the word's going to be put out there. What is the state of donorship throughout the country at this point?
The registry is getting more and more people on it. We work tirelessly at MUSC to promote living donation, as well as to be on the registry to be a donor after you pass away.
And you are a Good Samaritan kidney donor. What is that?
That is when someone comes forward without an intended recipient in mind. The center actually works to match that person with the best recipient that would take that kidney well.
I see. And Aaron, you also are a Good Samaritan kidney donor.
Yes, that is true.
Why did you decide to become a kidney donor?
I first learned about the need for living kidney donors through the stepson of a good friend of mine. I originally started the process thinking that I may need to donate to him at one point, but by the time I got through the testing, his kidney function was actually so good that he was not a recipient or in need of receiving a kidney at that time. But because I'd already gone through the process and I'm mentally and physically prepared for donating, and I knew that there are so many people around the world, around the country, around the state that needs kidneys, I decided to move forward just to donate to a stranger that was in need of this life-saving donation.
Was organ donation something that as soon as you found out about it, you thought, oh, you know what, that's for me. I want to do that?
It pretty much was. I've always been an organ donor, on my license, after I, pass away. I never really thought about being a living organ donor, but going through the process, meeting with Lillian and the entire staff at MUSC, they made me feel completely comfortable with the process. I went through so many tests and interviews. I knew that medically and physically, I was a really good candidate, and there was really no reason for me not to move forward with it. And, working with Lillian along the way, being that she had already gone through the process, definitely made it that much easier. I'm not going to say it's an easy process, but it's definitely easier than I anticipated. And the recovery was actually so much easier than I anticipated as well.
That's incredible. How about for you, Lillian? Why did you decide to become an organ donor? And talking about whether you're up to the task physically, but what about emotionally and mentally?
So I actually went through all of elementary school with a friend who needed a heart transplant when we were in high school. And so I've always been interested in transplant, and it was about probably 12 years ago that I met somebody who donated to the wait list in South Carolina, and I thought I could do that. And I did wait 10 years before moving forward and doing it. But it takes a lot, I think physically, like Aaron was saying, to go through all the testing and make sure that you're perfectly healthy to live the rest of your life with only one kidney. But we do have a team of social workers, donor advocates that make sure that you're aware of all the potential outcomes after surgery, whether it's a successful transplant or in the cases where something may not work out. You have to be ready for that.
Right. Of course, I would imagine that you would. And just tell us real quick, why faith leaders? Why get them involved? Why is it important for them to be the voices to get people to kind of understand better what organ donation is all about, and to hopefully recruit some people who might not otherwise be interested in becoming an organ donor?
Sure. So I think there are some misconceptions when it comes to organ donation after you pass away, and all major religions say that it's okay to be an organ donor. So to have the leaders of those different faiths come forward and say, we're not against this. In fact, we're actually for it, can dispel some of those myths and get more people to register.
Absolutely. Are there any events coming up? I know tomorrow is the start of the 3-day cycle. So do we have anything there that, people need to know about where they can join in and sign up?
Nothing in person, unfortunately, due to coronavirus, but I would check out We Are Sharing Hope. That is the organ procurement organization here in South Carolina. There's some virtual events, and across the country, there's more through Donate Life America.
Perfect. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And of course, you can always email them. It's livedonor@musc.edu. There's also a phone number here, 843-792-5097. I think that's wonderful. And you've given people the gift of life, and that will forever be remembered and appreciated.
Thank you, Leyla.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're back after this.